Okay, so before I show you my training for the week, I want to touch base on two things. The first of all is the vitamins and supplements I take in addition to my daily intake of food in a day throughout the whole training block. And then I also want to showcase what I do as a form of recovery throughout training. You need to take your recovery seriously as training if you want to remain injury free, especially when doing, big 100-mile weeks with big volume and stuff. So let me show you how I start my day. I wake up every day and have a Science and Sports hydration tablet. In the summer when it's hot, I have 2 of these a day. And then before a run, I will have 2 to 3 scoops of electrolyte Go, high in electrolytes, high in carbs. When I get back from my run, Rego Recovery Protein Plus. So there's 24 grams of protein over here. And in addition to that, I add a teaspoon. This is Mecha powder. Okay, then onto the daily vitamins that I take. I'm not going to go into too much detail on them. You can always do some research yourself, or if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments below. But I take omega-3, calcium for your bones, and magnesium, really good for sleep as well as avoiding cramp. Iron complex, I work with a nutritionist, Aaron. We realized my iron levels were quite low, so specific to me. Probio to boost that immune system. Vitamin B complex. L-glutamine to help relieve some of the stiffness, as well as vitamin D, especially in the colder winter months in the UK. My one and only ever stress fracture was due to lack of vitamin D. So crucial supplements, especially in the winter when the sun's not shining in the UK. Okay, then onto the evenings after dinner before bed. So I have a teaspoon of wheatgrass. So wheatgrass is a superfood, so many nutrients in here, and it also speeds up your digestive system. And before bed, I have high potency Mega Mag Muscle Ease from Nutri Advanced. A lot of the stuff that I've showed you today is sort of higher potency or stronger than the norm. And as a marathon runner, you put your body through a lot of stress, and we sort of need like higher potency stuff, let's say. Once again, like I showed you earlier, I already have a CalMag tablet, but because magnesium is such a crucial supplement to marathon running and training, helps you sleep well, helps you avoid cramp. So I have 1 scoop of this. I've never ever cramped in a race, touch wood. And I think a lot of it has to do with this. I've been taking this consistently for the last 3 years. I do actually have a discount code for them, which I'll put in the description below for you. And then just before bed, I have Naturecan CBD oil. It just helps you fall asleep a bit quicker. Better sleep means better recovery. Okay, so for the past 20 days, I've been training with a little bit of a frog in my throat. I've had a bit of a phlegm. My body's feeling really good, but I just can't seem to shake this phlegm off. And I think when you've got a little one in nursery, these things happen. And I've kind of accepted that, Berlin's under 5 days away now. So I'm probably going to run with potentially a little bit of phlegm in my throat. It's not holding me back at the moment, but I'm doing what I can in order to get me to the start line as healthy and give myself the best chance. So I'm taking 1 immune Science and Sport tablet. So there's 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. In addition to that, I'm taking ACC 600. And then I'm having a cup of turmeric tea, which actually helps for inflammation as well. And then turmeric's really good for boosting that immune system. Okay, now onto race morning. And in addition to my breakfast, this is going to be my running drink mix. So the Science and Sport Beta Fuel range. There's 80 grams of carbs in here, and I'll have this at various drinks points along the way. Gel wise, I'll look to take 3 to 4 Science and Sport Beta Fuel gels. Just be careful with the Beta Fuel gels. There are certain ones that only recommend 1 a day, but these ones you can take more than 1 a day. And one thing that I've showcased throughout this block, and they actually been one of the sponsors of various videos for the series, is Ketone-IQ. It's really been a good addition to my training this block, and something I will most certainly be racing Berlin Marathon in. As much as it gives you a physical uplift, it's sort of fuel for your brain as well. And if I think back to Berlin last year, which is what I've been doing regularly throughout this block, like running 2:20 in 8 seconds, where can I gain? The margins are tight. What can I improve on? And I think back to a section last year at about 35 to 37 Ks when it really starts getting tough. I lost concentration. Your brain goes through so many motions throughout the marathon, and I lost about 8 to 10 seconds there. Had I stayed concentrating throughout that section, who knows what I could have finished on. But I think by adding this to my drink mix, it's just going to keep my brain sharp throughout, allowing me to tap into those reserves. And yeah, if you're looking to get some for yourself, I will put a discount code on screen now, as well as included in the description below. But this will most certainly be going into my race day drink mix. Okay, so now I'm going to showcase my recovery, the different forms of recovery, and how I'm able to remain injury-free throughout training. So I have a discount code for MyoMaster. I am an ambassador for them. They're honestly one of the best recovery companies out there. I know running and entering these races and traveling to all these races is not cheap, so hopefully some of these discount codes can help you. Okay, so when it comes to recovery, the 3 most common questions I get asked. One is, what is my favorite form of recovery? And it's probably this right here, using my recovery boots. The reason why is because it's a form of recovery that I can recover and work at the same time. And I have a growing business, always a lot of work pressures and work to get through. And it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Finish your session and come jump in the boots and start smacking out work for the day. Okay, the next question I get asked on these is, are they worth it? And in my honest opinion, hell yes. I know they're not cheap, but then again, quality stuff is not cheap. The Myo Airs are the strongest recovery boot you get out there. And with the vigorous training we do, we want that strong pressure recovery. And if you had to work out the price you pay in total versus the amount of times you use these recovery boots, I promise you it'll work out to be quite cheap at the end of the day. Lastly, I use my recovery boots pretty much after all my harder sessions in the week. Then onto my next form of recovery, the Myo Pro massage gun. And I've been through quite a few massage guns over the past few years, but I really find this Myo Pro is one of the strongest out there. Here you can see I do small circles as I go along, and I mainly focus on my calves, hammies, quads, and glutes, perfect to do whilst watching TV in the evenings. I do aim to foam roll for 5 to 10 minutes every day, but I find that this massage gun can get stuck into places that are different to where the foam roller can get to. On to the next form of recovery, the good old ice bath. So here I am making it as cold as possible. I know there's been quite a few mixed opinions out there on just how beneficial ice baths actually are. I find that a lot of professional athletes tend to use ice baths. There's been a lot of research from people saying that it does tend to stunt recovery occasionally. In my case, in my experience, I find that after I feel really almost cooked after a big hard session, I jump in this ice bath, super cold, and it almost shocks the body back to life. I'm getting cold just watching this. And then onto the sports massage or full body flush. So here I'm using Urban app, and they're actually ideal if you're tight for time because they come to your house. So I wouldn't recommend getting a real deep sports massage about 2 to 3 days before a race. Any time before then is just fine. Flushing out fatigued muscles and tight areas, as you can see here on my back, and just bringing the body to life. So here I am with my chiropractor Ketone, and this was after my 3rd 100-mile week. Body was super fatigued, and I find it very beneficial seeing Ketone. I wish I could see him more regularly. Here he is doing some dry needling, releasing some tension within my back. I do get back issues throughout training, probably mainly because of 2 things. The first of which is carrying kids. And the second of which is I was in the corporate world for 10 years, and sitting in that corporate chair for a long time, not getting up for hours on end definitely was not good for posture. Huge jump in the glutes when the needles go in there. Working on a few knots right here. Satisfying pain. Then onto my back alignment and releasing tension, especially within my lower back. So I've had a history of what Ketone says is quite a tight L5 joint. So it's always a big relief when we get this to click. And boy, we did. I think my neighbors must have thought there was a gunshot coming from my house. He's satisfied, I'm satisfied, let's go. Posture and form is something I've worked extremely hard on this block. And Ketone's feedback was that my body seems far more easy to manipulate than previously before, which is good signs. Okay, so here's a look at my penultimate week's training as well as some of the stuff I've eaten this week. HelloFresh has been absolutely key to me this training block. It's just taken out the hassle of having to go to the shops, been so convenient and saved me so much time. It's really good value for money. It's actually cheaper than grocery shopping and is around 25% cheaper than takeouts. Here are some of the meals I chose. They have over 40 meals available. I used to cook the exact same food on the same day, week in, week out, which was super boring. I am loving this convenience and variety. If you would like to order some for yourself and support this channel, please scan this QR code, or I'll include details in the description below. Boom, track session done, and Berlin Marathon is next weekend. Today's interval session was good. So in total it was 11.8 Ks of volume, so 36 minutes. Average interval pace was 3:03. And yeah, I'll put the session details up on screen. So nice sharper session today, and I added a few more of those shorter reps to try and bring that spring pop and life into the legs. And yeah, you know what, this week someone asked me how much mileage I'm getting to this week, and I'll see at the end of the week, but it really doesn't matter too much. Now it's crucial to run according to feel. You don't want to put in massive amounts of work into training and then line up with tired legs, because then you've undone all that good training. So I assume I'll probably get to around 100 Ks this week or so. But like I said, very much according to feel. If I feel like I need a rest day this week, I'm going to take a rest day. So this is my Thursday morning tempo run on the way to the Best Athletics Adidas tempo session, and London was on full display. I've been running in London for well over 7 years now, and well, I don't think I need to say any more. Just check how beautiful it is. That road right there is where you do that nasty last little loop of the Essex London 10K. Good morning, Adidas runners and Best Athletics. Okay, so Thursday was a really enjoyable run. As you can see, it was a progression tempo session that I kept very controlled ahead of a full send park run coming in on Saturday. Friday we went to Peppa Pig World, as you do with a 2-year-old, so I could just squeeze in a 7K. Saturday morning, here I am at the start of Winchester parkrun. Let's attack that record of 15:22 and sharpen up ahead of Berlin in a week's time.
15-15 on grassroots. Boom shakalaka. Well done.
So week number 7 in the bank, only 1 week to go, 7 of 8, tick, done. And yeah, wow, what a way to finish. What a way to finish. Best I've felt the whole block, which is good. Remember, like I keep saying throughout this training, which has been grueling and relentless and the toughest I've ever had, is that it's all been tailored around having fresh legs at Berlin Marathon. So I could have had fresher legs along the way and had a lot more feel-good runs and, you know, probably posted some better times, but ultimately potentially jeopardized my Berlin Marathon goal, which is the main goal. Sort of like the way I see it is like, you know, if you're targeting a World Cup in a way, you use the games as practice and a build up to them. So yeah, we've practiced enough, and just shows you the legs are finally coming to life. And I think if I think back to some of my runs this block, like, you know, big half 68:30, yeah, it was the fastest I'd ever done a big half, but the legs, like, it didn't feel good. It's all about feeling good, and you know when you feel good, and today I felt good. So confidence booster, but at the same time I don't want to get carried away. You know, it's next week is the one. It's the one. You know, it's always good to pick up small wins along the way, because you never know how race day is going to go. And you know, it's kind of all eggs in one basket. But I've learned from the sport that on race day anything can happen. Marathons are not fairy tales. Who knows what could happen? But let's be positive. And you know, I thought this block would be challenging with 2 little ones, and you know, focusing on my business, you know, putting my heart and soul into it. And it's been honestly a lot more challenging than I thought, but we've given ourselves a chance and we've got through the training. And if today's anything to go by, then yeah, it's all systems go for a sub 220 attempt next weekend. Got to believe, 1 week to go. Can't wait.